Hello and welcome to No One Knows Peter Except You, of course. In this episode of Rocket League Question Time, the question I put forward to you is conspiracies, question mark. The reason I talk about this is because recently I've been listening to Joe Rogan Experience podcasts, and today I've been listening to one with a rather well-known guy called Alex Jones. And the reason I clicked on this particular podcast is because I recognise the name. And in this episode, okay, thank you. Okay, in this episode, he talks about lots of conspiracies, and it's just this funny moment where Joe Rogan is just trying to bring him back to earth, and he just statement after statement after statement, you know, spider humans, pig humans, aliens, government, domination, world order, and it was just string after string of him going into this crazy rant. And this is an actual guy who thinks these things, and he's out there with an audience who are thinking the same. And I have to admit, in my time, I have got into the rabbit hole of YouTube conspiracies, and when I did that, things didn't end well for me. I entered a bit of a unsure part of my life, and I got scared about things. I believed in things. I made up my own things, and it wasn't good for me. And I don't know, in the world of being sensible and getting along with each other, where is the space for conspiracies? Because they just make you doubt your existence, they make you scared all the time, and there's no benefits to them. Because if you actually believe all these things, they're usually negative. But I think the reason why they're so attractive is that you're sort of outsmarting everyone. You're part of this elite group of people who know the answer to a particular world series of events, and only you and the online conspiracy community know about it. So I think it is an attractive thing. And also, they make for great content. Thinking about all these, instances and newspaper articles and cover-ups. It's all very exciting stuff where you piece together your own story, and you come up with your own ideas, and it gets quite creative. And I think most of conspiracies are rubbish. Because even if there was an underlying secret to it all, people making videos and piecing things together, they're never going to guess it. It's like getting rid of all human history and having a load of people who know nothing, have their memories wiped, say, write a book about human history and get it as close to the history books as possible. And then you're left with a load of people ranting, and they're just making things up, and they're not ever getting any closer to the truth of the history books that you've wiped from their minds. So really, if there was some underlying conspiracy to it all, loads of people making it up by themselves on YouTube aren't going to guess it. So it's just loads of creative ideas, loads of little mini stories and mini realities that all undermine your sanity and become part of a negative experience. But they're great because you know the truth and no one else does. I think once you get into the world of conspiracies, there's no stopping. Once this is a hoax, then this is a hoax, then this is a hoax, and my teacher at school works for the NCIA and she is in the Correctional Peter Mischief Division, where she sets me homework because I watch these videos and I need to be distracted from finding out the true source of this completely made up story that somebody made on YouTube. And then you just end up believing everyone around you is out to get you, and then what do you call that? Mentally unwell. That's what you call it. So I think conspiracies are very dangerous for people susceptible to anxieties and psychosis and the like. So what conspiracies do is make up a load of stories that even if there was a truth to it all, they're probably the misleaded and they're probably another version of the truth. And you know, if there wasn't the conspiracy theorists, there wouldn't be the conspiracies. You know, it would just be normal news. You know, when things happen, then people would just realise that they're happening and they're not second guessing everything, thinking something else happened. It would just be a bit more simpler without the conspiracies. And I think day-to-day life, 99.9% of people are all in the same boat of figuring stuff out for themselves and making sense of the world. There aren't aliens, you know, who are out there, you know, messing things up. Most people are the same as you and I, and we're just normal. So a conspiracy is almost wishful thinking, and I think even if there was some underlying truth to it all, no one's getting it right. So that just makes everything untrue. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode of Rocket League Question Time. Bye for now.